How's it going, guys? White Rabbit here. I just wanted to give a quick update to this Taiwan plane crash that happened. I've been hearing a lot about it, and some people think it's a hoax, some people think it actually happened. I figured I'd go ahead and give my spin on it just in case because, you know, I have mentioned before that I have a little bit of flight experience myself, so figured I'd go ahead and give my take. Now, originally, my first thought when I very first saw the video was that it was fake. I mean, when I first saw this video, it just looked completely fake to me. And part of the reason I wanted to make this video was because I wanted to point out some of the flaws in it. Now, some of the people, Dabu in particular, has mentioned that the reason the plane crashed was due to prop failure, and that's completely ludicrous if you look at how the plane operated, as in the plane's flight trajectory and things. But some people said that both of the engines failed. You know, there's all kinds of conflicting stories about this. The other thing that was really weird is that there was a bunch of people who actually survived this thing. And so, you know, typically people don't survive plane crashes, especially one as violent as this. So, you know, that was 58 people on board and only like 9 of them died or 12 of them died or something like that. That's pretty incredible because, you know, a twin prop airplane like that, even right after takeoff, still must have been going at least 100 miles an hour, probably, you know, 150, maybe 200 miles an hour. So for it to just fall out of the sky like that, I would have imagined would have killed a lot more people. But here's the thing. For one, I don't know why they would fake this story. I mean, it doesn't, you know, it's not like the Malaysia Airline 370 or whatever. It's not like there's a clear objective behind it. And the other thing is, I don't know how they would have accomplished faking this. They would have had to put, you know, fake airplane parts in the middle of this river, in the middle of this highly populated area. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense in that respect. It seems like there's way too much possible error. So I wanted to go through this video. Well, before I do that, actually, I pulled up on the map where this took place. They said that the plane took off at the Capital Airport, the main airport here, and went down at one of the bridges over here. Now, it's slightly off in that regard. For one, prop airplanes don't usually take off at major airports. It would be much more reasonable to assume that it took off at this smaller airport here. And when I was searching for where it actually crashed, it looks like, in what I've been able to deduce, that this was probably the closest I can get to figuring out where it was. It looks like the buildings are fairly similar to the clip. Looks like the road's fairly similar at the divider, and so I think this is probably where it happened, or at least real close to here. So that is going to be kind of like over in this area, like right here. And as you can see, it's pretty close to the airport. It's just a little ways off. I would have to see which way the wind was blowing in order to figure out if the plane took off this way and turned around and started heading back the other direction, or if the plane took off this way and, you know, to adjust for wind started heading this way, or maybe it even, if the winds were really strong, could have blown it theoretically that far, but that's kind of a stretch. I think probably the plane took off and looped around. But then I started looking into the actual footage. Let's get into the actual footage here, because I wanted to see if the plane actually, if it was CGI or what happened. And I'm going through and I'm watching this clip, and, you know, the first time I saw it, it looks totally fake, because there is no reason that I could think of for a pilot to turn the plane on its side like that. That makes absolutely no sense, even with engine failure, even with aileron failure, because it just doesn't make sense for something to happen like that. But then if we watch this in like super slow speed, you can actually see what happened. It's It's pretty clear to me. If you just watch the plane here, you can see it kind of drop down slightly. You see kind of the tail of the plane is dropping down and the nose is kind of lifting up. And then it just all of a sudden starts to fall out of the sky, and you see how it's losing altitude. What is happening there, guys, is that the airplane is stalling. So the pilot probably didn't get enough speed for whatever reason, or, you know, pulled up too quickly. You know, at higher altitudes, it's relatively easy to recover from a stall, but at low altitudes, it's almost always a crash because there's no room to recover. And to me, it's pretty clear that that's what happened. You can see, like I said, the nose is picking up, and the bottom tail is just dragging here. And then it just falls out of the sky. So, yeah, guys, like I said, at first I thought this looked CGI, and I kind of got on here to confirm the fact that it was probably fake. But the more I started researching into this, and after I really slowed down the clip and examined what actually happened, it's pretty clear that the plane just stalled and crashed. That would also probably explain why there were so many survivors, because the plane, you know, in a stall state like that would have been going relatively pretty slow. It would have been going so slow that it wasn't gaining altitude, you know. It wasn't going fast enough. And so, you know, in that respect, it could have very easily only been going maybe 100 miles an hour or so. And, you know, after being slowed down by the bridge here and landing in water, it seems reasonable enough to assume that people would have survived that crash. So I'm gonna have to go with my gut on this and say that this one appears to be real. And so I think it's important that we pray for these families, and yeah. So there you go, guys. That's kind of my take on it. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Thanks, and God bless.